Oh my god. They did it. Oh, I just got back. I just saw it. I just saw the movie. Oh, I wasn't sure. Honestly, going in, I was like, this is either gonna be the greatest movie musical ever or the worst movie musical ever. A movie of that size, it could only be one of the two. It was the former. It may be my favorite movie musical ever. It may be. So let's talk about let's talk about the film itself for a second. I love how they took care of some plot holes. Like, first of all, one they did an okay job with, but not they could have done better, was the whole Valjean never meeting Marius before singing Bring Him Home. But they did in the movie have him overhear Marius singing about Cosette. That was good. Also, I liked how in the finale, usually in the musical, Eponine sings with Fantine when they take Valjean. They got rid of Eponine. Well, she's in the barricade scenes at the end, but they brought the bishop in instead. And that added to it so much more, because Eponine and Valjean, in the musical, they had like a tiny little scene together, and he didn't even know. He thought she was a boy. In the musical, in the movie, that scene doesn't even exist. But so I'm glad that they got rid of Eponine in that part. But they added the bishop, which was a much better idea. So let's talk about these performances. Well, let's start with the one who's getting the most buzz. Anne. Oh my! I'm gonna be doing this a lot because she was phenomenal performance from her. Oh my god, I've loved her for so many years. This is gonna get her the Oscar. That Oscar is hers. Done, signed, sealed. Just give it to her now before they even announce nominations. I Dreamed a Dream. That may be one of the finest musical theater performances ever put to screen, ever put to film. And while we're on that subject, let me just say, the singing live made so much difference. You felt it. You really felt it. And I know a lot of people also had a problem with the cinematography. I had no problem with the cinematography. I mean, I liked the close-ups. I liked that you could see the wrinkles. I liked that you could get the expressions. So Anne was brilliant. Hugh Jackman is a god. Even if people don't like his singing voice, which I know he's had some people have complained about his singing voice. I mean, not as much him as someone else who I'll get to in a second. But even if people don't like his singing voice, he can't not get an Oscar nomination for this movie. The physical change he went through, he carried that movie. He literally carried that movie. The things that role required of him, I didn't even think he could sing that high. I knew he could sing. I knew he had a decent voice, and his voice was kind of up there. I think high baritone. But that's why I've always thought of him as a high baritone, not a tenor. But some of those notes he had, his best moment, in my opinion, he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad for the rest of the movie, but his soliloquy in the church at the beginning was breathtaking. So brilliant. He was fantastic. Russell Crowe, okay, we've heard it already, he's not a great singer, especially next to Hugh Jackman, but he acted the role extremely well. He was very, very good, I must say. His best vocal work, though, was Stars. I thought he sang Stars really well. The suicide was great. When he jumped and killed himself, when he hit the side, when he hit the edge, I felt that. I was expecting him to be cut in half. Oh, that was painful to watch, especially all those barricade scenes. There was a part when Javert walked in like a puddle of blood after everyone was dead. The whole theater must have heard me because I was like, "Oh my god!" I yeah, but I may have screamed that a couple other times, like after the soliloquy ends. I dreamed a dream. And now let's talk about Eddie Redmayne. Eddie Redmayne wasn't crazy about his voice at first, but then Empty Chairs and Empty Tables, he was really great. Just like Russell Crowe in Stars, Eddie Redmayne did an excellent job with Empty Chairs and Empty Tables, and his acting throughout was also really great. Amanda Seyfried, I really don't like her voice, but she was very good. That's a thankless role, Cosette. I feel bad for her that she has that's a thankless role, Cosette, but she did a good job. Samantha Parks, though, she's a star. I hope she makes more movies and gets the acclaim she deserves. Because people like her in this, but I don't think it's like they're gonna nominate her for an Oscar. Anne and Hugh are definite nominees, but there's someone else who I think might sneak in with a nomination. He hasn't been nominated for anything else for the movie, but I feel like Sacha Baron Cohen could sneak in a nomination. First of all, he was hilarious. Master of the House was so great. The comedy that he got was so great. And I think it could be like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder and, what's her name? Melissa McCarthy in Bridesmaids, where the funny supporting performance could get a nomination. The extremely funny support. I'd like to see him, and I used to say that even people who didn't like the movie loved Anne Hathaway. There are certain people who didn't like the movie over Anne Hathaway, but they did like Sacha Baron Cohen. I don't think anyone didn't like Sacha Baron Cohen. Well, maybe a couple people, but general consensus was that he was great. And so was Helena Bonham Carter. I must say, I had higher expectations for him than her. She was really great. She held her own with him. Definitely. Who else is there to talk about? Colm Wilkinson was magnificent. He's so fantastic. Who else? Tom Hooper, you did an awesome job. I hope he gets an Oscar nomination. I feel like he's kind of getting put at the bottom of the barrel for Best Director nominees this year, but I'd like to see him sneak out a nomination, because he actually did a really good job with this movie. I loved it. This movie, does it have its flaws? Yes. But visually it was breathtaking. The sets were great, the costumes, the makeup, the dental work. Even my mother was like, whoever did the dental work on this deserves an Oscar. And it's true. Anne Hathaway's teeth, Hugh Jackman's teeth, Samantha Parks' teeth, Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter's teeth, they were all like jagged and like disgusting. But it's good. All the makeup on all the beggars, it was disgusting and beautiful at the same time. Like I said, this movie could have been the biggest hit or the worst flop. And I mean, although I haven't seen the top contenders like Lincoln and Argo and Django Unchained, but this movie took my breath away. Fantastic job to everyone involved in Les Mis. I'm overwhelmed.